2022. We welcome, in a very special way, our principal, Brother Hector Pinto, teachers and students. Our judges for the competition, Mrs. Bhavna Shonak, Mrs. Pamela Knight, and Mrs. Shivani Rubena, have ever so kindly consented to judge this competition. Mrs. Meera Bhatt will be tabulating the results. Thank you all for your willing assistance. Elocution is the art of clear, expressive, and articulate speech. It is a skill much in demand in the present day, where effective communication skills are required to excel in almost every walk of life. Debates, elocution, and discussion hone this skill by focusing on aspects of speech such like diction, enunciation, modulation, and intonation. To convince, to contradict, to express love, hatred, and pathos, one requires words. The right word, the correct inflection, appropriate nuances can make one bare one's soul, give substance to the imagination, and drive home a point. Words are magical. A stress used to emphasize can make a word a request, a rebuke, or simply sarcasm. Our competition will be held in two categories. Category 1 for class 11A and 11B. Category 2 for class 12A and 12B. The marking criteria will be on the basis of unity, clarity, pronunciation, and expression.
We begin today's competition with class 11A, who will be reciting The Battle of Naseby by Thomas Macaulay. In the mid-17th century, tensions between the English monarchy and the Parliament started to get worse, resulting in the English Civil War. Eventually, a fierce battle took place between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. The parliamentary troops were led by Oliver Cromwell, Lord Fairfax, and General Ireton, while the Royalists were led by Prince Rupert. King Charles I himself watched the battle from a neighboring hill. The king's army was defeated in the battle, and King Charles I was taken prisoner. He was tried and beheaded by the parliamentarians in 1649. The Battle of Naseby was one of the important battles in the war.
The Battle of Naseby by Thomas Babington Macaulay. Oh, wherefore come ye forth in triumph from the north, with your hands and your feet and your raiment all red? And wherefore doth your rout send forth a joyous shout? And whence be the grapes of the winepress which ye tread? Oh, evil was the root, and bitter was the fruit, and crimson was the juice of the vintage that we trod, for we trampled on the throng of the haughty and the strong, who sate in the high places and slew the saints of God.
It was about the noon of a glorious day of June
There we saw their banners dance, and their cuirasses shine, and the man of red was there, with his long essence hair,
and Esther, and Sir Marmaduke,
and Rupert of the Rhine, like a servant of the Lord, with his Bible and his sword. The general rode along us to form us to the fight, when a murmuring sound broke out, and swelled into a shout, among the godless horsemen, upon the tyrant's right. And hark, like the roar of the billows on the shore, the cry of battle rises along their charging line.
for God, for the cause,
for the church, for the laws,
For Charles, King of England, and Rupert of the Rhine, the furious German comes, with his clarions and his drums, his bravos of Alsace Acacia and pages of Whitehall.
They are bursting on our flanks. Grasp your pikes, close your ranks.
For Rupert never comes, but to conquer or to fall.
They are here. They rush on.
We are broken. We are gone.
Our left is born before them, like stubble on the blast.
Oh Lord, put forth thy might. Oh Lord, defend the right.
Stand back to back in God's name, and fight it to the last. South Skippin has a wound, the center has given ground. Hark, hark, what means the trampling of horsemen on our rear?
Whose banner do I see, boys? It's he. Thank God. It's he, boys.
Bear up another minute, brave Oliver is here. Fast, fast the gallants ride, in some safe nook to hide. Their lowered heads predestined to rot on temple bar.
And he turns, he flies. Shame on those cruel eyes.
That bold to look on torture, and dare not look on war. Where be your tongues that late mocked at heaven and hell and fate, and your fingers that once were so busy with your blades, your perfume satin clothes, your catches and your oaths, your stage plays and your sonnets, your diamonds and your spades. Down, down, forever down, with the mitre and the crown, with the Belial of the court, and the Mammon of the Pope. There is woe in Oxford halls, there is wail in Durham stalls. The Jesuit smites his bosom, the bishop rends his coat, and she of the 7 hills shall mourn her children's ills, and tremble when she thinks on the edge of England's sword. And the kings of earth in fear shall shudder when they hear what the hands of God have wrought for the houses and the word.
Next we have Class 11B, presenting Television by Roald Dahl, that advises children to read books instead of watching television. The poem takes a comic look at the various problems that watching excessive television can cause and encourages children to read books instead.
Class 11B presents Television by Roald Dahl.
The most important thing we have learned so far as children are concerned is never, never, never let them near your television set. Or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. In almost every house we have been, we have watched them gaping at the screen.
They loll and slog
And louder.
And stare until their eyes pop out. They sit and stare and stare and sit until they are hypnotized by it, until they are absolutely drunk with all that shocking ghastly junk. Oh yes, we know it keeps them still.
They don't climb out the window sill. They never fight or kick or punch.
They leave you free to cook the lunch.
But did you ever stop to think, to wonder just exactly what this does to your beloved thought?
It rots the sense in the head. It kills imagination dead. His brain becomes as soft as cheese. His powers of thinking rust and freeze. He cannot think. He only sees. All right, you'll try. All right, you'll say.
But if we take the set away, what shall we do to entertain our darling children? Please explain.
We'll answer this by asking you, what use the darling ones to do?
How used they keep themselves contented.
Before this monster was invented,
Have you forgotten?
Don't you know?
We'll say it loud and slow. They used to read. They read and read. Oh, books. What books they used to know. Those children living long ago. Oh, please. Oh, please. We beg. We pray. Go screams and yells, the bites and kicks, and children hitting you with sticks.
Fear not.
Because we promise you
that in a week or two of having nothing else to do,
they now begin to feel the need of having something to read.
And once they start, boy oh boy,
To watch the slowly growing joy that fills their hearts, they grow so keen. They wonder what they've ever seen in that ridiculous machine, that nauseating, foul, unclean, repulsive television screen. And later, each and every kid will love you more for what you did.
Class 12A will now present Spanish Train by Chris de Burgh. This piece tells the story of a train in Spain that is believed to carry the souls of the dead. God and the devil play poker to stake their claim over the souls. As the stakes get higher, the devil cheats by pulling an ace from his cloak. So, let's see what happens next.
Spanish Train by Chris de Burgh.
There's a Spanish train that runs between Guadalquivir and Old Sabin. And at dead of night, the whistle blows, and people hear she's running still. And then they hush their children back to sleep, lock the doors upstairs they creep. For it is said that the souls of the dead fill that train 10,000 deep. Well, a railway man lay dying, with his people by his side. His family were crying, knelt in prayer before he died. But above his bed, just awaiting for the dead, was the devil with a twinkle in his eye.
Well, God's not around, and look what I've found. This one's mine!
Just then, the Lord himself appeared in a blinding flash of light and shouted at the devil,
Get thee hence to endless night.
but the devil just grinned and said,
I may have sinned, but there's no need to push me around. I got him first, so you can do your worst.
he's going underground.
But
But I think I'll give you one more chance, said the devil with a smile.
so throw away that stupid lance. It's really not your style.
Joker is the name, poker is the game. We'll play right here on this bed, and then we'll bet for the biggest stakes yet, the souls of the dead. And I said,
look out, Lord, he's going to win.
the sun is down, and the night is riding in. That train is dead on time. Many souls are on the line.
Oh Lord, don't let him win.
Well, the railway man, he cut the cards, and he dealt them each a hand of 5. And for the Lord, he was praying hard, for that train he'd have to drive. Well, the devil, he had 3 aces and a king. And the Lord, he was running for a straight. He had the queen and the knave, and 9 and 10 of spades. All he needed was the 8. And then the Lord, he called for one more card. But he drew the diamond 8. And the devil said to the Son of God,
I believe you've got it straight.
So deal me one, for the time has come to see who will be the king of this place. But as he spoke, from beneath his cloak, he slipped another ace. 10,000 souls was the opening bid, and it soon went up to 59. But the Lord didn't see what the devil did, and he said,
That suits me fine.
I'll raise you high to 105, and forever put an end to your sins. But the devil let out a mighty shout,
My hand wins!
and I said,
Lord, oh Lord, you let him win.
the sun is down, and the night is riding in. That train is dead on time. Many souls are on the line.
Oh Lord, don't let him win.
Well, that Spanish train still runs between Guadalquivir and Old Salmon. And at dead of night, the whistle blows, and people feel she's running still. And far away in some recess, the Lord and the devil are now playing chess. The devil still cheats and wins more souls. And as for the Lord, well, he's just doing his best.
Finally, class 12B will present If I Were a Voice by Charles Mackay. If I Were a Voice is one of the most exceptional poems by Charles Mackay, which is relevant in today's chaotic world. The poet describes how he would transform this world into a better place if he were a voice, a persuasive voice. The poet expresses his faith in justice and says he will sing a song in praise of the right and in blame of the wrong. He gives us a vivid description of his vision of an ideal world.
If I Were a Voice by Charles Mackay.
If I were a voice, a persuasive voice, that could travel the wide world through, I would fly on the beams of the morning light and speak to men with a gentle might and tell them to be true. I fly over land and sea, wherever a human heart might be, telling a tale or singing a song in praise of the right, in blame of the wrong.
If I were a voice, a consoling voice,
I'd fly on the wings of air, the homes of sorrow and guilt I'd see, and calm and truthful words I'd speak, to save them from despair. I'd fly over the crowded town, and drop like the happy sunlight down into the hearts of suffering men, and teach them to rejoice again.
If I were a voice, a convincing voice.
I travel with the wind, and whenever I see the nations torn by warfare, jealousy, or scorn, or hatred of their kind, I'd fly on the thunder crash, and into their blinded bosoms flash, and all their evil thoughts subdue. I teach them Christian brotherhood.
If I were a voice, a pervading voice,
I see the kings of the earth. I find them alone on their beds at night, and whisper words that should guide them right. Lessons of priceless worth. I fly more swift than the swiftest bird, and tell them things they have never
stages, for I repeat,
Unknown to the statesmen at their feet.
If I were a voice, an immortal voice,
I'd speak in the people's ear. And whenever they shouted liberty, liberty, liberty,
without deserving to be seen,
I'd make their error clear. I'd fly on the wings of day, rebuking wrong on my worldwide way, and making all the earth rejoice. If I were a voice, an immortal voice.
While the results are being tabulated, Manas Tiwari of 12A will entertain us with a song.
तुझे अभी बुला रही है न जाओ दूर से कहे सुकून कहाँ पे है हासिल तुम्हें ये है पता कि नीलों का फासला अलग आसमान है तो क्या दिल न माने ये गाड़ियों की ऐसी दौड़ तेरा दिल लौटता है आ जा रहे दूर तुम तो क्या नहीं तो दिल का मुसाफिर तो एक बार फिर तू हंस के जरा देख ले मेरी इन आँखों में लहर कर हर पल तेरा तेरी बातें जो और क्या है ये बातें बता क्यों अब बिगड़ता नहीं ना वो पहाड़ों को छोटे से लगे कितने बड़े जब सामने दूर जो है खड़े कभी भी हमारी जिंदगी की छोटी सी लगे कितनी बड़ी नहीं जानते कारीगर तेरा छावे हो जैसे नजर आ रही डरना नहीं मैं हूँ यहीं पर अब अलग आसमान और है जमीन भी कुछ अलग सी करके दोगे जब कभी तो देखना कभी कुछ अलग नहीं
Thank you, Manas. We request our principal, Brother Hector Pinto, to kindly address us and also announce the results.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank Mrs. Nirja Bist for organizing this elocution competition, teaching the and also the class teachers of 11A, B and 10, 12A and B. Training the senior boys, especially the 11th and 12th, is not very easy. And it was a wonderful performance. I didn't expect the quality, this experience, and many of your students have participated in the elocution competition before in this school. One of the common program in SEM is to be the elocution. I don't remember seeing the class 11th and 12th elocution. I don't remember. I used to see always middle school. It's good to see that. The reason is this. When you go for any interviews, the last thing they will see your certificates. I speak to my old students, especially from, I don't have any old student from here who are working, but where I was in Mangalore. I asked them, what questions did they ask you? How did you get when they are campus recruitment in the engineering or medical colleges? 2-3 questions they ask you. It's always not about the marks. It's the values. And there are certain questions, and I want to tell you one incident. There's one of my students called Shamant. He is now in Dubai as an engineer. He was an average student, but good in games. He was interested in architecture and structural engineering. And when you went for the campus interview, when these companies come to the colleges, there are many toppers among his class. They ask questions. And he was also asked. And they asked him one question out of the blue. Which building, it's because they use the engineering, structural and civil engineering, whatever it is, I don't remember. Building that inspires you the most because you want to go into this field. He said straight away, he did not say twin towers, he said pyramids of Egypt. So then they asked why. Then they said one thing, and reminds me of St. Joseph's College, Nainital. There were no trucks, there were no bulldozers, it was a desert. And the buildings that built in those days, simple architecture, and it may have been built around 1000, I do not know the history so much, it's still there. In the desert place, the heat is so much, strong wind and the sand. Then they asked me, where did you see all this? He said, I used to watch National Geography channels and I used to read that. So when you are in the school, it's not only your academic performance that matters, even the interview, the confidence that you have speaking. The people will ask you various questions. Definitely you need to have marks. And this Shamant got that job in that big company because of this answer and the confidence that he got. Then they asked him, where did you study? He said, I studied in St. Joseph's, Mangalore. And he was an average student, he was not a bright student. He used to pass in all subjects. But he says the toppers in his class, in the engineering, they were not selected for the job. Of course, he left that company, he changed so many companies, but he's doing well. So whenever we get these opportunities, the co-curricular activities, we don't say extracurricular because this is a part of your life. The confidence, facing the interviews, facing the challenges, you get these opportunities. So I was very happy to see you, so many of you are here on the stage. And this stage, when the old students come, mainly the stage, they tell me always, brother, here is the stage where I had acted in Macbeth, or in the opera, or I spoke here, this is the same podium. And I have a reverence for this stage, because from here I learned. Yesterday one ex-student came, he came yesterday, or day before yesterday, and he brought 2 gifts for me. One, he had written a book, he's from Haldwani. He came, I think last time he came around 10, 12 years back. Other one I have not opened. And he's a great orator. And he said, brother, I acted there. Okay, then he saw some of these places there. And he says, brother, I wanted to release my book. I actually, when that 10 a.m. I was having morning devotion, I was opening those packets. I didn't get the time to read, but at least I wanted to see and take a photo and say, at least say it's a nice cover page. Now I have to read that. You know, and he told me all his memories. So So congratulations. For many of you, this may be the one of the last events in this auditorium. So remember, especially for the class 12s and some of in the class 10s there, you may have a singing competition, semi-idol, that may be the last one, or if you have a class assembly here. So remember, when you get these opportunities, do not lose it. That's the most, grab those opportunities, because you will not get the opportunities again. Now all the 4 classes were quite good, but one team has to be selected as a first, another team has to be selected as second. And it's not going to be easy. When they had asked me last time to be a judge, I said no, I'm not very good at it. And I want to be neutral, let the experts give the points. So between 10A and 10B, 11A and 11B, the first place goes to 11A with 100 points. So congratulations 11A. Ma'am, you only give the sweets. Come here, since you are the organizer. I have the mic. Come here. The class teacher and maybe the captains. Who's the class teacher? Mrs. Gururani and the class. Well done. They are very good. And 11B gets 87 points. Come up, ma'am. Give them a big hand. Well done, 11A. Thank you, ma'am. Well done. Between class 12A and 12B, 12B got 103 and 12 got 107 points. 12A are the winners. The class teacher and 2 or 3 students, please come and receive the sweets from Mrs. Nirja. Or you're the class teacher, Mrs. Knight, come here.